But on the other side, I've had so many good memories in this game. I've made so many friends, and I've traveled all around the world, which also makes it more painful to look at it like this.
How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Welcome to the first episode of the Reversal Quiz. We got a very special guest in the house today. Our first guest for episode 1 is Tatsym. How's it going,
what's
man?
up, guys? I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, let's go. How are you doing these days?
It's been an adventure. We are surviving, trying to thrive as much as possible, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's good to have you here on our first episode, and I'm sure everybody back home is going to be excited as well. So I'm going to be asking Tatsym 20 Yu-Gi-Oh! Related questions that will hopefully help you guys at home get to know him a little bit better. And first of all, do you want to introduce yourself in like a sentence?
Yeah, in a sentence, that's difficult.
You can do two. You can do two, tops.
What it comes down to is I'm an ex-pro Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. That's also a content creator and a Twitch streamer. But I've been banned, so currently we are really up in the air with what this channel really is. I think that's a good long sentence.
Got a lot of time for content now.
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. So I guess we're just gonna jump into the first very basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Related question. When did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And how did you get into the game?
So it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly when I actually started, because I started a little bit around when the Dragon Rulers were first limited. So a little bit after Ruler format. But I really did not witness any of that format. And I think that by the time that I was like first actually competitively playing was around 2015 with the release of Duelist Alliance. That's when I first started to play competitively.
Cool. And what was the first booster pack you ever opened?
The first pack I ever opened was Battle Pack 3, Attack of the Giants.
Oh, is that the God card thing?
Yeah, that's the God card thing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We were casuals, dude. We were looking at the God cards. They're like, yeah, we need to have these cards, you know.
Well, Slifer is apparently back. It's on.
Yeah, it's that trap card's actually
it's gonna happen. 2022 tins are making gods broken.
Yep, definitely.
Awesome. Any notable pulls from there?
No Slifer.
No Slifer. Well,
no
rip.
Slifer. No Obelisk. No nothing. We were. I think it was like Forbidden Lands was, I think, the best card in that set.
It's kind of broken.
So
it's kind of broken.
Okay. Back in the day.
Question number 3. What was the first deck you've ever played?
The first, like, not real deck was... that was like Spellcaster Control. But the first actual working strategy I was making was a deck based around Yubel. Of all things.
Whoa.
I had like this very cute setup with like Yubel and Mystic Tomato and Limit Reverse. Yeah. And I think that after that it was like Fire Kings. And then I jumped to Burning Abyss. So those were the early days.
Super cool. Question number 4. What is your most memorable tournament experience?
I would say that YCS London in 2019 was one of the best. That's when I went with like the best group of friends. When I didn't get the top cut quite, but I did get pretty far with Subterror that event. It was just an amazing event. We had like a very good friend group, and yeah, the event overall was very smooth. And I got to, because I almost topped, I got a deck profile on Simo's channel and Lithium's channel, and that's also when I really started with the YouTube channel. So that would be my most memorable event.
So question number 5, tying to that, is going to be, what is a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Accomplishment that you're proud of or want to share?
Yeah, very sad. I never got a YCS top. I was really chasing to that. And I think that when I was reaching like my peak performance, that's basically when COVID hit. So in COVID season, I topped like, I topped every Benelux Extravaganza. And I even won one, but I don't really think that's an achievement because the remote is just, it's not real. I also got like, that's also where I got my second place to the Remo Duel Invitational, and then I also got like top 4 at that Invitational. And that I think that like success wise, definitely prize wise, that's the best that I got because the prizes there were ridiculous. But yeah, I never got that YCS top. I do have like 5 national tops, which I'm very happy about. But there's no like big pillar where I'm like I'm really happy with that. I'm always chasing and craving for more, unfortunately. So.
Awesome. I mean, those are some nice achievements. Nationals is not a small feat.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like some people would be happy with that. Some not. Like I'm a competitor at heart, and I just wanna. I wanted that like YCS top, and I wanted that YCS win. I'm not really sure if I would ever gotten that win, but I knew for sure that top was there. So it's a little iffy for me personally, but I can see why other people are like, yeah, that's a huge accomplishment. But I'm like, no.
Yeah, it also depends on where you're from, right? Some nationals are harder than others, but I suppose
that's also true. Yeah. Dutch nets are not that hard to top, which is why I have a lot.
So the next question, tying into some recent projects of yours and a collaboration with Card Market, what is your latest Card Market search?
My latest like purchase?
Purchase. Kind of want to dig into what you're teching right now. That's the question.
I basically sold all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards at this point. I have like 5% of everything that I have left, and now I'm big into Pokemon. And the main difference between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh is the fact that Pokemon is ridiculously cheap. You can have like the top performing meta deck right now for under 100 euros, which is absolutely crazy. But on the contrary to Yu-Gi-Oh, what they have is they print a card in like common. It will be like a rare or something. I'm still not sure how the rarity stuff works. I just buy everything. But then they print the same card in like 4 different rarities. So the last purchases are actually here. I have this very nice full art waifu that like just arrived, and I have like this super shiny Drizzle that I wanted for my deck. And this is like Max Pimp, but this card was like this. So just to make things clear, right? This is a max rarity card. This is the highest rarity version of this card. This is a card that you play 4 times in the best deck right now. It's 30 euros.
Wow.
It's absolutely crazy. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just buying all the Pokemon Pimp because it's like 10% of everything that I
My
have.
Sprite Blues are crying in a corner somewhere in my house right now.
No, dude, you can like so what I'm playing right now is Palkia for those interested. And like that's the main attacker, and you play it like 3 times, and it costs 7 euros.
Well, that's pretty good for the best deck. That's
nuts.
Pretty crazy.
It's actually nuts, yeah.
Well, consider that, budget players. So another question, not related to Pokemon, but what is your latest or your most recent default Dueling Book deck?
I think that the last time that I went on Dueling Book, I was trying to meme on Suffer Stream, my friend, and he I was thinking of like this FTK deck with Morphtronic cell phone or telephone. It is.
Yeah.
So that's the last deck that I've built on Dueling Book. But next to that, there's just a couple of old decks from last format.
That's really cool. Question number 9: what is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh set or product of all time?
I think it's weird because I really hate Blazing Vortex, but I think it's the set that I opened the most of for some reason.
Prosperity?
Yeah, but I never pulled. I like pulled one. I think it's like it's awful. Like my favorite set. I really like Duelist Alliance, but I didn't open a lot of it because I didn't really. That was when I was really young, so I didn't have that much access to it. But one thing that I did open, like an insane amount of, was Toon Chaos, and I really liked Toon Chaos.
That was an awesome set. I think that's like a really fan favorite. That's why the price is like still, I think, relatively high right now.
Yeah, they definitely underestimated how that set would perform, and I love that set so much. I bought like box after box after box. It's insane. So I think that would be my favorite.
Cool. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with what's going on in Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of like Banlist predictions and after the European Championship. So a few Banlist questions. What would be the one card you would put on the Forbidden List?
Like me personally,
If you had the power to do that right now.
Like, it would be like ridiculous, but there are just a lot of cards that I hate. I think I would personally... It would be like ridiculous. I think I would ban like Altergeist Multifaker because I hate Altergeist so much. I hate playing against that deck. It's not even good. So I think that like removing their best card will like completely destroy the deck and no one can ever play it again and I will finally be happy.
That is hilarious. That was actually my first deck in Multifaker's
Really?
Busted. Yeah, that was my first deck.
Uh,
It was so easy to get into, you know, and it's making a comeback now, Mystic Mine.
Have you seen that deck list? There's like 5 Altergeist
Yeah,
cards.
I wouldn't call that an Altergeist deck, but
It's not an Altergeist deck, yeah.
yeah, for
But hey,
sure.
without Multifaker, would also be dead.
It's true. He imperm fakered the guy at the top 4 game.
Dude, that was so funny.
That
was
is
so
every
funny.
Altergeist player's dream.
Yeah.
So same question, but limited and not banned cards because we're gonna get to that.
Do I have to limit a card or can I unban a card?
You're gonna do both.
I'm gonna do both?
Yeah.
Okay. So which one do you want first?
Limit.
Okay. So if there was a card that I would like limit down, I would... It's a big toss-up. I would probably limit Pot of Prosperity because that card's awful and no one should play it. So maybe they should finally be disencouraged enough if it's at 1.
That is a solid take.
If it's at 1, it would be like a sick upstart. So maybe that would be cool. I would dig that. I would dig one Pot of Prosperity. I would think
Yeah.
that that's like
I
the
think that's pretty
funniest
solid.
outcome.
That's also like a solid prediction. Maybe, I don't know if the TCG would do something like that, but
There's no
kinda-
shot.
no.
There's no shot.
It kind of sort of happened in the OCG. They got it to 2. It's at 2 right now, I think.
It's at 1 in Master Duel for what that's worth.
Well, there you go, folks. So, question number 12 is, you have the power right now to take a card and save it from the forbidden list. You can take it to 1, you can take it to 3. Let's do 1. Is it gonna be Colossus?
It's Colossus.
It's Colossus.
If it's at 1, as long as it's at 1, it's always Colossus. And even now I'm banned and I will never play Yu-Gi-Oh again. Probably I would still say Colossus because I have like 70 copies of it. So that would be the best financial outcome
Stonks,
for
it
me.
should be at 3 then.
No,
3.
Colossus at 1 is fine. No, at 3 it's ridiculous. There's no reason that card has to be at 3. No one needs it at 3. At 2, at 1, it's like fine.
I'm gonna ask a question off the list. So the bonus question: Has anybody ever agreed on you on this recently?
A lot of people.
Really?
I think it's like 50-50. What it comes down to is there's like 3 sides of the argument. One side is like, no, it can't come back, it's too good / oppressive. Just like, I guess you can say that. Then there's the side that's like, no, it's completely fine. There are like a million cards better than it right now. And like main decks are pretty much built around to it. Like, realistically, you can say this like 2 metas ago, but you can say it like this meta as well. If there were to be a Colossus on the field, would it realistically matter in today's meta? It would not. So it's literally a vanilla at that point. And then there's like the third side, which is like, oh yeah, but you can search Nemesis Corridor from Cupid's Pitch, which is like dog shit. And you have to play like a brick, and then a card has to be banished. And like, it's... Like, if Colossus is at 1 and you want to summon a Colossus, then you can just summon a Colossus. That's like completely fine if you want to do that. If you want to play cards in your deck to summon it, it's like fine. So people are like, yeah, it's too easy to summon, and it was always easy to summon. So I don't know. I think it's like completely fine.
I think that's a solid argument. We're gonna accept that for sure. Question number 13. If you were a monster card specifically, what type would you be?
I would be a Thunder.
A Thunder?
Yeah.
So you can activate your own effect in your hand to summon the
Triggered
Colossus you
myself
just
for a
unbanned?
Colossus. Nah, dude, it's like... I'm not a spellcaster for sure. Like I'm not a dragon. I think that's like the super edgy answer. If you're a thunder, you could be anything. You could be like a thunder dragon. You could be Colossus. You could also be like Batteryman Solar. You know, there's like a lot
You
of
can be
a lot of options
Sprite.
for thunder.
Broken.
You could be a sprite. You could be Sprite Blue.
That's
So
true.
I think that thunder is like a sick. It's one of those hidden, completely meaningless like types, and I really appreciate that. Like there's some types that are like nothing. You know what a fish is, but like aqua is like weird again, right? Like an aqua is all basically a fish. But,
Yeah.
like thunder is similar to that, and I like
It's
it a lot.
abstract.
Yeah.
For sure. Question number 14. Kind of gonna be a little bit hard, having you sold 95% of your cards. What is the favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card you currently own?
I think that would be Starlight Appaloosa.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Spicy.
I had two I used to max pimp my deck, but ever since like basically COVID, that wasn't an option anymore because the prices were like extremely high. So after that, I just like played what I liked. But I still had like there were two dream cards that I always had, and one was the Starlight IP, and the other one was the Starlight Appaloosa. And then a couple of months ago, I was looking on Card Market, and I always check out the prices to see like, you know, what's a good purchase, because I do think that there's a lot of Starlights that are pretty good investments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Appaloosa was one of them. And I saw one being listed for like 300 euros cheaper than the rest. So I asked for pictures. He was like, here they are. And I'm like, okay, that's completely fine by me. So I bought it, and then I finally had my Starlight Appaloosa. Still have it. I'm not planning on selling it.
That is awesome. Those are like the two probably most coveted or expensive ones, IP and Appaloosa for sure, right?
Appaloosa is the standalone. It's a little weird, right? Because if you buy a Starlight Vader, you have to buy 3. So it's like buying a playset of talents is like much worse than buying Appaloosa. But yeah, once the Appaloosa is like the single most expensive relevant card that you can have right now.
Cool. Question number 15 kind of ties into that as well. What was the last card you got rid of?
I think it was Gold for Ash Blossoms. It was to I had like multiple playsets of everything, and I had a friend at Locals who was looking to buy Ashes, but he didn't want to pay that much. I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm just getting rid of everything. So if you want them for like a good deal, then you can have them. So I sold them to a friend for a little under market value.
Cool. Question 16. Who is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh personality? It could be more than one.
It's gotta be like actually super cringe that I'm going to be saying this. But I think that like SFR, like he's of course like my best friend at this point, but his streams and his content is definitely something else. He's bringing the fresh actual Twitch meta to Yu-Gi-Oh, which is weird because like Yu-Gi-Oh streaming and Yu-Gi-Oh content is like so different from like other sections of the media. There, like a lot of people go on Twitch to watch Farf, to watch MBT, but they don't watch anyone else on Twitch. And there's definitely a Twitch meta right now. Mm-hmm. And what he does with his streams is he makes them fresh, he makes them hype, he makes them up to date, and he goes on with the trends that are on Twitch right now. So his content is so nice to watch because I watch a lot of Twitch already. So watching like someone else that's not really into the meta or is not really into like what's new, what's up to date, and then watching him, it's like a world of difference, and I really appreciate that about his streams. So yeah, I'm always down to watch his streams, and I always have them open the moment he goes live.
Sick. Question 17. What is the favorite or your favorite format that you've played in?
I've played in so many good and so many awful formats. I liked the Duelist Alliance format a lot, but that format has so many flaws. It's really funny because if a Yu-Gi-Oh player looks back on like what's a good format, they will say like, oh yeah, this. But then if you start thinking about that format, you realize that it was super awful. It was like super awful. And Duelist Alliance format, I'm not sure if you were familiar with that format. It was like cool, you know, you had your Dante, you had your Shadows, But then you had Clifford, Necros came out with the Gin Lock, Vanity's Emptiness was at 3, Skill Drain was at 3. It's like the worst format ever. But what I really liked the start of Brave format, but then Prankits came out and then it was also kind of ruined. But I think that one of the most fair formats I've ever played in, I think it would go to Toss format. Thunder Dragon, Sky Striker, Salomon Great,
Orcust?
Orcust, yeah.
Eternal format, was it?
It was so good. It was such a good format.
Yeah.
It was completely stupid at the end, but at the start it was completely, it was so sick.
Yeah.
It was in a time where people didn't refine their decks as fast as now, because nowadays like a deck comes out and it's like refined, and then it changes like a couple of times. But back then it was like people still had to explore what they were doing, and I really appreciated that format a lot.
Yeah, decks right now are like optimized almost out of the box. It's crazy. People grind DB for like a month ahead, and then it's like ready out of the box. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's a good format. Sky Striker was also one of my first decks. One of my favorites for sure. Such a cool deck to play. Question.
Yeah, it's solid.
Sorry. Question number 18. What does the Yu-Gi-Oh! And local scene look like where you're from?
It's a little weird in the Netherlands. When I started, there weren't many stores, and then a couple of years later, there were like 3 in the same city, like my city. So I've always been blessed that my local store, like that the city where I lived in had a local store. I actually organized the events there myself because I wanted to make sure that everyone had a place to play at. So I've been doing that since like 7 years ago, up to the ban. Because now I can't anymore. Smile. So for me, it's really chill because I can literally leave my house and be at my locals within 10 minutes, which is absolutely nuts. And then there's a weird thing in the Netherlands where every big city doesn't have a local. If the city is big, they don't have stores for some reason. So a lot of the locals are in smaller cities outside of bigger cities. But yeah, we are blessed in the Netherlands. Our country is super small. So within an hour drive, you can go pretty much to a local, which is very nice. For me personally, it was always kind of the rule. If I had to drive more than 2 hours for a regional, it wasn't worth. And for locals, it's like depending on where we go. But we have like a really good local, the Tafelridder, like in a 20-minute drive away from us. And we have Yuki Wang, which is a 40-minute, and Guard Code, which is also 40 minutes away from us. So we are super blessed with the stores that we have here. It's really good in the Netherlands.
That's good. That's really cool. Question number 19. We're nearing the end. How do you prepare for an event? Do you have any sort of rituals, superstitions, or is it really like, mathematic?
Yeah, my ritual was to overthink everything and then walk in with the completely wrong deck list. That's what I usually do. It's a sick strategy. You should try it out. It's fun. No, I try to, I made a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content back in the day and I streamed a lot, so I just played a lot. I play a lot and I play every deck, so I try to be ready for everything that could be thrown at me, and then I try to evaluate for myself what I think is the best deck that I should be playing. It's not necessarily, this is the best deck of the format, so I'm going to play that, because that was never really the case with me. It's what do I think I will get the most success with, and then I try to make the deck as good as possible, try to test against as many of the decks as possible. I was lucky enough to have a very good testing group around me, so that was really chill to play like against everything that's kind of relevant. So yeah, just play a lot, grind a lot, and then hope you are making the right choices for the event. And sometimes it pays out, and a lot of the times it doesn't. So.
Yeah. Last question. What will be your main advice to somebody trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2022? Somebody watching this and thinking
don't
like...
make content.
Don't make content. That's one.
It's a very loaded question for me.
I'm sure it is.
I would like... It's so difficult for Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, right? Where... Especially now, like, it's a little hypocritical to say all these things the moment that you're banned. But, like, you get like so many new perspectives at that point. It's just super weird. Like, in my honest advice, at this point, I see no point in starting to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The game is hyper expensive. The event payout is garbage. If you're a content creator and you say the wrong thing, you can just get banned. So, but on the other side, I've had so many good memories in this game. I've made so many friends and I've traveled all around the world, which also makes it more painful to look at it like this. If you really like Yu-Gi-Oh, you like the anime, and you like playing the game, and you've checked out like Master Duel, something that would be a good start. And then just go to a local. You can always just go by and say hello to the people there. And if the people there are nice, they will help you out. And from that point on, you can grow as a person. Don't be discouraged by prices or by like decks or by like strategies, and try to give it your all. And whether that's like paying not a lot of money for a rogue deck or going extremely hardcore, play the way that you like it, and don't be afraid to try stuff out. And yeah, a friend group around that will definitely help. I still think it's worth it. I still think Yu-Gi-Oh is worth it. Just, it gives you so much in your life that I still think it would be possible. But I'm gonna be honest, a lot of stuff needs to change, and I hope that Konami is working on that. Because we all just want this game to be the best it is, and right now it's in a very difficult state, with staples being well over 80 euros and no good payout for events, etc. But yeah, once you start, you're not really busy with that anyway. So yeah, just try to have fun. That's what I would like to say. Just try to have fun.
I think this is like awesome in general and like really good advice. I think the people and the journey along the way is definitely worth it, no matter what the outcome is. But yeah, that was really awesome. So tell the viewers where they can find you these days.
Yeah, so I'm still occasionally variety streaming on twitch.tv/Tatsym. I'm gonna be probably picking up competitive Pokemon in a little bit because it's finally starting off again within the Netherlands. And yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I would still like to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'm a player first, content creator second. So if I can't play, a lot of my content's also dead. I still have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Tatsym, where I have a lot of stuff archived. So if you're into rogue decks or meta decks, you could still go check that out. And you might see an occasional Yu-Gi-Oh video pop up every once in a while. But yeah, and next to that, you can follow me on twitter.com/TatsymDelta, where I post the most funny, insane bangers that will definitely make you laugh.
The Meme Academy. It's awesome. We're gonna put all the links.
Good.
It is. We're going to put all the links down in the description for you. Make sure you check all of his social channels. Tatsym, thank you so much. This has been really, really fun. And I wish you all the best of luck with Pokemon and with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really hope, I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody, to see you again with Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thank you for having me on.
Sure. Thank you so much, and thank you guys watching this. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe. Check out Tatsym channels in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.